Emily, I've been thinking about something. Why is it that some people become fluent in English and others don't, even though they study just as hard?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think most people focus on textbooks and grammar rules, but honestly, I think your environment matters way more than people realize.
Your environment? Like where you live?
Kind of, yeah, but not just that. I mean, everything around you. The people you spend time with, the media you consume, the spaces you study in, even the apps on your phone.
That's actually wild because I never thought about it that way. So if I'm surrounded by English speakers, I'm going to improve faster?
Exactly. But here's the thing. You don't even need to physically move to another country to create that environment anymore. You have so much control over it.
Welcome back to Native English Skills. Today, Emily and I are talking about something we wish someone had told us years ago. How your environment shapes not just your English skills, but your confidence when you speak.
And the amazing part, you have way more power to change your environment than you think.
So let's start with the basics. What do you mean by environment? Can you give me some examples?
Sure, think about it this way. Your environment is like your daily ecosystem. It's the people you talk to every day, the content you watch, the music you listen to, even the notifications on your phone.
Okay, so if someone watches English TV shows, that counts as part of their environment?
100%. But here's where it gets interesting. It's not just passive. If you're only watching, you're getting input. But if you're watching and speaking back to the characters or taking notes on expressions or discussing what you watched with someone else, that's a different environment entirely.
So it's about active engagement, not just consumption?
Right. And that's actually the first thing I want to talk about. A lot of English learners are passive in their environment. They're waiting for something to happen. But really successful learners, they design their environment deliberately.
Deliberately design it? That sounds intense.
It sounds intense, but it's actually really simple. Like, I have a friend who changed her phone to English 3 years ago. That one change meant she was seeing English vocabulary every single day, in context, naturally.
That's genius. So small changes add up?
Exactly. And then she started following English accounts on social media. Not boring accounts about grammar, like accounts about cooking, travel, comedy, stuff she actually cared about.
So you consume content you genuinely love, but in English. That makes so much sense because you're not forcing yourself. You're actually interested in what you're reading or watching.
Yes, and that's the second part of environment, your social ecosystem. Who do you spend time with?
Okay, what's an example of that? Do you mean like finding English-speaking friends?
That can be part of it, but I'm thinking bigger. Do you have anyone, even one person, you can practice English with regularly? A language exchange partner, someone at work, even an online friend?
And if someone doesn't, what do you do?
You create one. That's the thing about designing your environment. You're not stuck waiting for perfect circumstances. There are so many online communities, language exchange apps, conversation clubs.
I've heard people say they're scared to join those groups because their English isn't good enough. How do you respond to that?
That's so common. But here's the truth. Everyone in those spaces is there because they want to improve. They're not judging you. And honestly, being around people who are actively learning and trying, that environment itself gives you confidence.
So it's like being in a supportive community actually changes your mindset?
Completely. Your brain picks up on signals from your environment. If you're in a group where people are celebrating small wins, where mistakes are seen as learning, that becomes your mindset too.
Let me ask you something, though. What if someone lives somewhere where there's no English community? What if they're in a small town, no English speakers at all?
Here's where it gets exciting. Digital environments count just as much. You can join a Discord server for English learners. You can find a speaking coach on italki or Preply. You can join Reddit communities, YouTube comment sections, even TikTok communities.
Really? Like, you can build an entire English-speaking social circle online?
Absolutely. I know people who've done exactly that. They go to bed in a town where nobody speaks English, and they wake up to messages from friends across the world. Friends they met because they both wanted to improve their English.
That's actually beautiful. So it's not about location, it's about intention?
Exactly. And that brings me to the third part of environment, your physical space and habits.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
So think about where you study or practice English. Is it a place where you feel focused? Do you have good lighting, minimal distractions? Are your study materials organized and accessible?
You're making it sound like a whole setup.
It kind of is, but not in a complicated way. I'm just saying that if you study English sitting on your bed with notifications constantly popping up, your brain is working twice as hard. But if you have a dedicated quiet space, even just a corner of a table, your brain can relax and actually absorb information.
And your habits? Like your daily routines?
Yes, if you practice English for 10 minutes every single morning, that becomes part of your routine. Your brain starts to expect it. But if you wait until you feel motivated, you might practice once a month.
So consistency is part of creating the right environment?
Huge part. When you make English a daily habit, even if it's just 10 minutes, you're creating an environment where English is normal, not something special or difficult.
I want to share a real example here because I think it's relatable. Last year, I met someone who wanted to improve her speaking confidence, but she was scared. She lived alone, worked from home, didn't have English-speaking friends.
What did she do?
She made 3 small changes. 1, she joined an online conversation club that met twice a week. 2, she changed her phone to English. And 3, she committed to speaking out loud for just 10 minutes every morning, reading news articles, speaking to herself, even talking to her cat.
Talking to her cat. I love that.
But here's the thing. 6 months later, she told me she felt like a completely different person. Her confidence skyrocketed. And you know what she said? She didn't feel like she was studying anymore. English just became part of her life.
That's because she changed her environment. She didn't become smarter. She didn't find a magic study method. She just surrounded herself with English in a way that felt natural.
She made 3 small changes. 1, she joined an online conversation club that met twice a week. 2, she changed her phone to English. And 3, she committed to speaking out loud for just 10 minutes every morning, reading news articles, speaking to herself, even talking to her cat.
Talking to her cat. I love that.
But here's the thing. 6 months later, she told me she felt like a completely different person. Her confidence skyrocketed. And you know what she said? She didn't feel like she was studying anymore. English just became part of her life.
That's because she changed her environment. She didn't become smarter. She didn't find a magic study method. She just surrounded herself with English in a way that felt natural.
So what would you say to someone listening right now who's feeling stuck, who's been studying for a long time but doesn't feel confident yet?
First, know that your environment probably needs to change. If nothing around you is encouraging you to speak English, if you're isolated, if you're only consuming content that's boring, that's the problem, not you.
And the good news is?
The good news is that you can change your environment today. Right now, you could download an app, join a community, or decide to change your phone settings. These are small things, but they add up fast.
One more question. What if you do all these things, but you still feel scared to actually speak English?
Then your environment is still missing something important. Permission to be imperfect. You need to surround yourself with people and content that celebrates messy, real English, not perfect textbook English.
So like find people who don't judge mistakes?
Exactly. Native speakers make mistakes all the time. They use filler words, they restart sentences, they mix up grammar. If your environment only shows you perfect English, you'll feel like you're always failing.
So to sum up, you're saying that your environment is actually more important than how many hours you study?
I wouldn't say more important. I'd say it's equally important. You can study 8 hours a day in a toxic environment and burn out. Or you can study 3 hours a day in a supportive, engaging, rich English environment and become fluent faster.
So what's the first step someone should take?
Honestly, identify one area of your environment that feels weak. Are you lacking real conversation? Find a language partner. Are you consuming boring content? Switch to something you love. Are your daily habits chaotic? Pick one thing, just one, to make routine.
Small changes, big impact?
That's it.
I think this is actually the most important episode we've done because it's not about studying harder, it's about studying smarter by changing what's around you.
And it's empowering because you actually have control. You can't change your native language, but you can change your environment.
So here's your challenge for this week. Look at your environment. Pick one thing that's not serving your English learning. Maybe it's boring content, maybe it's a lack of social connection, maybe it's a messy study space, and change one thing.
Just one thing. See how it feels. Notice what changes. Notice what changes.
And then come back and tell us about it. Drop a comment below and let us know what you changed and how it affected your English.
We read every comment, and honestly, hearing your stories is one of the best parts of what we do.
If this episode helped you think differently about your English learning, please like this video and subscribe to Native English Skills. We release new episodes every week.
Keep listening, keep learning, and remember, your environment is part of your success story. Make it count.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone.